life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? If a man has not discovered something that he will die for, he isn't fit to live. That old law about an eye for an eye leaves everybody blind. Our scientific power has outrun our spiritual power. We have guided missiles and misguided men. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor, it must be demanded by the oppressed. He who accepts evil without protesting against it is really cooperating with it. We may have all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. Everything that we see is a shadow cast by that which we do not see. There can be no deep disappointment where there is not deep love. Never forget that everything Hitler did in Germany was legal. Nonviolence is a powerful and just weapon, which cuts without wounding, and ennobles the man who wields it. It is a sword that heals. Oppressed people cannot remain oppressed forever. The yearning for freedom eventually manifests itself. Rarely do we find men who willingly engage in hard, solid thinking. There is an almost universal quest for easy answers and half-baked solutions. Wars are poor chisels for carving out peaceful tomorrows. Peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. One of the greatest casualties of the war in Vietnam is the Great Society. Shot down on the battlefield of Vietnam. We must straighten our backs and work for our freedom. A man can't ride you unless your back is bent. Human salvation lies in the hands of the creatively maladjusted. Almost always, the creative dedicated minority has made the world better. The means we use must be as pure as the ends we seek. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than misunderstanding from people of ill will. We who engage in nonviolent direct action are not the creators of tension, we merely bring to the surface the hidden tension that is already alive. Don't let anybody make you think God chose America, as his divine messianic force, to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. Philanthropy is commendable, but it must not cause the philanthropist to overlook the circumstances of economic injustice, which make philanthropy necessary. The moral arc of the universe bends at the elbow of justice. There is nothing more tragic than to find an individual bogged down in the length of life, devoid of breadth. We must learn to live together as brothers, or perish together as fools. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. We are not makers of history. We are made by history. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. The quality, not the longevity, of one's life is what is important. Every man must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism, or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. We must concentrate, not merely on the negative expulsion of war, but the positive affirmation of peace. A right delayed is a right denied. Never succumb to the temptation of bitterness. All labor that uplifts humanity has dignity and importance, and should be undertaken with painstaking excellence. We must build dikes of courage to hold back the flood of fear. I want to be the white man's brother, not his brother-in-law. The principle of self-defense, even involving weapons and bloodshed, has never been condemned, even by Gandhi. To other countries, I may go as a tourist, but to India, I come as a pilgrim. A lie cannot live. Seeing is not always believing. All progress is precarious, and the solution of one problem brings us face to face with another problem. At the center of nonviolence stands the principle of love. We must use time creatively. A riot is the language of the unheard. The ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by the bad people, but the silence over that by the good people. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.